Well, hello, I'm Sharonda, and welcome to Beyonce's Side of the Internet. And today I'll be talking about a book. All right. In that book, I discovered on Amazon. I had just finished another book, and I was like, I'm like reading these long books now, right? And I was like, I need something short, something that's just gonna, like get me through or whatever. And I came across. Uh, a book by Lashaun, which a lot of my mutuals in the Black romance community have discovered this author and just love her work. So I was like, okay. So here's the cover, okay, and also you'll see it behind me. Still trying something new here. All right, and this is a novella length book. It's like 150 pages, contemporary Black romance. All right, I devoured this book in like at night because I was just like, I have to finish this book. It was so freaking good. Okay, so let me put on my dang going reading glasses so I can see properly. Okay, because it's like, girl. Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm one of them people that got two pair of glasses. Okay, two, two. All right, so so the name of this book is Everything and More. Um, and it's so good, right? So our characters are Rumor Finley. Yes, that's her name, which I thought was so cute. And West, okay? The main male character's name is West. These two come back together for her sister's and his cousin's wedding. The sister and cousin are marrying. You get it. They marrying each other, right? So they have to be there for the wedding because Rumor is, of course, the bridesmaid, and West is this big ass yo. It was this big ass eagle that just. It was an eagle. It was some kind of big ass bird just flew outside my window. That was the first time I seen that. Wow. But anyway, okay. So I'm like, whoa. So so easily distracted. I know. So West is the best man, and these two do not get along. They're always bumping heads. Rumor seems to just like annoy the shit out of West, and she does it on purpose because she knows she annoys him, and he's just like this woman, right? So they have to be there for the sister and the cousin's wedding for the wedding, right? But they don't make it on time, not for the pre-wedding festivities because Rumor gets into it with another passenger, which I ain't blame that at all because listen, it would have been hands-on contact. All right, Rumor is a very well, she grew up being a very confrontational person because she was, she was fat as a kid, right? And she always got bullied and picked on, so she had to get this defensive mentality about her, and she was always like fighting and stuff like that. So that just went into her adulthood, child. And Rumor really didn't care if people, called her out. Well, I want to say she really didn't care, but once they said that word, the fat word, she was ready. She was. It was like 0 to 100 for her, and it was just the way people went about it. People are rude, don't really care about anybody else's feelings and shit like that, and they stay rude shit. And Rumor wasn't dealing with it, so her and West end up having to drive from where they're at to California, which was going to be a 3-day trip. And this is where we have them, kind of like just trying to get through, okay? And Rumor also, grew up in a household where her mother was very non-confrontational. The father was very abusive, uh, verbally abusive toward the mother. And Rumor, who was the oldest, once she got older, she decided, to defend her mother and step in. So, she was always like, Rumor really in this book was always is like the caretaker, taking care of everybody, defending everybody, even including herself. You know what I mean? So we have that. And West, oh my God, my heart just broke for West. West also had a very difficult childhood. His father was verbally and mentally and physically abusive towards him. West also has a twin brother. West was the oldest twin brother, so West was another person that, took the brunt of the abuse from his father to defend his younger brother. And you have these two opposite kind of like attract kind of characters. His, West's father was very much military, and West ended up going into the military. So he's really like this, just straight up laced up dude, right? Just very strict, very rigid, kind of like emotionlessness, right? He's very, he ain't got, he shows on face, he always shows that he has no emotion. People can't really get to him, but it's always different, right? And we see that with West during this trip with him and Ruma, as she lives to irritate this man, and he is just kind of like, let's just hurry up and get to California. But of course there is an attraction between Ruma and West. West has always had feelings for Ruma. They had like one night stand, like way back when, and this annoyance and irritation just kind of like took form from that, because West really didn't know how to express his feelings, you know what I mean? And that stemmed from him being in his father's house. But this was such a really good story. I really love the way Kate Lashaun just wrote the story, even with it being like 150 pages, like this novella story. She gave us, just enough and didn't overdo it, especially like you don't see the abuse on page. You just have the characters mainly talking about, their lives growing up, dealing with, their prospective parents and stuff like that. So, I love the fact that she didn't overdo the abuse theme inside of the book. Like, it was there on page, but you didn't like, it wasn't like physically there on page, if you understand what I'm saying, right? So in the way she wrote Wes's character, like him just coming out of his shell and be able to share, what happened in his childhood with Ruma, and the reason he is the way he is, how he grew up, and what he had to deal with the father, and like stuff like that, because there's a situation that happened when they're on a road trip, and both of them are in the medical field. So Ruma has to just like rush and just trying to help him. Like, he literally has a panic attack after having a conversation. Like, just him having a conversation with his father just sent this man into a downward spiral. And Ruma witnessed this, and from there, with her helping him through that, from them, we had like this forced proximity situation that goes on where these two end up hooking back up together again. But it's really, and Ruma instantly knows, like, once they have the hookup during the road trip, and then once they get to the wedding and stuff like that, Ruma knows that she feels something towards West, and West knows he feels something towards Ruma too, you know what I mean? But it's with Ruma, it was just a thing of confirm it if West felt the same way, because again, he's kind of like this emotionless character. He really doesn't really know how to express himself. Like, he loves her, he wants to be with her, but he doesn't really know how to express that to him. And there's a conversation, I won't go into detail, but there's a conversation between him and his twin brother on page, which I thought was just so amazing to see on page. Where his brother is just really just affirming that, he is deserving to be happy. He's deserving to be in a happy relationship despite what he grew up with, and I loved it. This just read like a full, complete, full circle story. I love the ending. There's some really great, hysterical, funny moments inside of this book. Some really heartbreaking moments inside of the book. But I just felt like the author just did a really awesome job of just, putting everything into a nice, nicely written ball, and it came out to be an amazing story. Like, West and Rumor were just really great on page, and I love that. And the writing was just flawless. Okay, she wrote her goddamn ass off in this book, and I'm gonna sit down and read maybe two more shorts. I know she has like two new releases, but y'all don't kind of long, so I'm gonna have to get them. I'm gonna have to catch up with those, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm in between these long ARCs right now, and since it's like ARC April, it's like, let me get these shits up and out the way, okay? And I have one that's like, no, I have two that's like 500 plus pages, and y'all know, I ain't work on books, but anyway, okay. But there are two authors that I really enjoy and I want to read. So, yeah. But I'm going to tell y'all, just check out this book. If you have not read Lashaun, I highly suggest that you guys do. Content trigger warning for this book. That there's mentions of, physical, mental, and verbal abuse on page. Childhood trauma. But it was just really a well-written story, you know what I mean? And Arthur does give content and trigger warnings before you go inside of this book. But it's a really well-done story. I think you'll enjoy it. I highly recommend it. And until the next one, later days. Bye.